Fast alle Religionen der Welt haben wegen ihres mythischen Backgrounds prägnante Abspaltungen. Man denke nur an die politisch fanatischen Evangelikalen der USA, die gerade mit einem lediglich geldgläubigen Präsidenten einen radikalen und gnadenlosen Gottesstaat errichten wollen. Aber es gibt auch wohlwollende Glaubensgemeinschaften und eine relativ unbekannte bildete im 18. Jahrhundert die englische Freikirche der Shaker. Ihr seltsames äußeres Attribut sind diese intensiven Tänze, in denen sie mit dem ganzen Körper ihren Glauben artikulieren. Zudem sind sie von der Aufklärung geprägt, lehnen Privatbesitz ab, setzen sich für Pazifismus und Gleichberechtigung ein, meist haben sogar Frauen die Shaker geführt. Sie sind zudem gegen Rassismus und im Unterschied zu den Amish-Täufergemeinschaften durchaus technologie- und fortschrittsfreundlich mit diversen interessanten Erfindungen. Und sie leben enthaltsam. Was war für Sie der Auslöser für diesen Film? Die Songs der Shaker, die Person Ann Lee oder diese fast utopische Gesellschaftsform?
I think the first spark was actually a hymn. That's my memory of it. Because when I was doing research on the world to come, my last film, I discovered this hymn that turned out to be a Shaker hymn, and that sort of took me down a rabbit hole. And I started reading about various utopian societies and doomsday cults, and it was so many people came to America for religious freedom at that period. And in the late 1700s, to escape the Church of England and to experiment. So that's when I came across the Shakers, and I thought, my first instinct was, this is just such an incredibly cinematic story.
Ann Lee kommt aus elenden Verhältnissen in Manchester. Ein harter Ehemann, der ihr 4 Kinder aufnötigt, die alle im Säuglingsalter sterben, und weil sie nicht, wie es die kirchlichen Oberen erwarten, reagiert, wird sie zudem ins Gefängnis geworfen.
Once I understand choreography in my body, once I've memorized it, it just becomes so wonderful and indulgent, and I just want to do it again and again, even though I'm sweaty and exhausted. There's always something more to feel and do when you're singing and when you're dancing, but with the accent, it's trickier because you're stripped away and that's what you hear, and you're speaking and you want people to believe you. And if you don't feel confident with the accent, it really can impact the whole experience. That was hard.
I hunger and thirst. I hunger and thirst.
Mit Amanda Seyfried wurde die perfekte Besetzung für die Rolle dieser außergewöhnlichen Frau gefunden. Und sie spielt ihre Rolle mit sowohl starkem wie auch klug differenziertem Einsatz. So, dass beispielsweise die Gesänge und Tänze nie zum bloßen Musical abfallen.
I was introduced to the world of the Shakers just through the script and the screenplay, and obviously I had to start research on the community and the songs. They had many hymns, and Mona wanted those to be a part of the film because they're a very important part of the Shakers. And I make song records as well, songs and score. There's a delicacy with this work because you're sort of trying to find the right balance of respecting the traditions of the Shakers, but also making it work and feel right for the screenplay and the story. I drew a lot from the simple melodies of the Shakers songs, and then sort of tried to push see how I could push those, but within the sonic palette that we started to build. I really related that to the undocumented sounds of the origins of the Shakers, where they were sort of trying to transcend their Manchester, quite mundane lives in Manchester, and express themselves, and in a way that was more raw and exploratory. Yeah.
(1774) wandert Mother Ann mit ihren Anhängern nach Amerika aus.
The overall rule was that it was never supposed to be performative. Any of the singing and dancing was never supposed to be performative. It's always just coming from this place of prayer, of worship, and because within the reality of this religion, if they felt, inspired by the divine spirit or the need to worship, that could just be breaking into song. It was unimportant to us for anything to be perfect. The imperfections were something that we really embraced. We didn't build perfect sets for dancing. We're dancing in the pouring rain on a ship that's too small to really do the movement how we planned, and we have to adjust. We constantly have to adjust to our surroundings. And then we brought that also into the sound design. The sound design is always part of the music. The diegetic audio never dies out in lieu of like a glorious moment of music. It's always there, it's always present. So sort of keeping the reality of the film there at all times. I think that was the rule. With this, I had to work with Mona, choosing what songs they'd be singing and really defining the pace of some of the scenes. With Celia, the choreographer. But yeah, I had to be there on set every day working with the actors. I enjoyed seeing the whole process. The sound mix, it wasn't getting stuff ready before, it was constantly evolving. And Mona kept it open and right until the sound mix. Even the sound of a cow mooing, we would be pitching that to the song, or choosing a wind sound that wouldn't interfere with the cello. There's all these very interesting details that we could get into.
Die Zeit ist nah. Ich weiß es. Habt keine Angst.
Eine wiederum perfekte Wahl waren für die Musik diese Kompositionen und Soundcollagen des Oscar-prämierten Daniel Blumberg.
I think the idea of stepping out of your life and almost like sacrificing what you have for the greater good is very scary. It's not unsettling. It's something I think is incredibly brave, especially in trying to collapse social structures and build something that was very scary to other people, but something that felt safe despite the world telling her she couldn't. I think that's it's scary. It's scary to use your voice when you know that people will misunderstand it or misunderstand you. It's very inspiring to me, and it's a good reminder a radical reminder, a very, very artful reminder that, you know, people like her are the reason big, you know, structures were dismantled, you know, in certain ways. Historically, we actually can do hard things.
Wir alle haben gelitten auf unserer Reise. Wir haben gewaltige Opfer gebracht, um die größte Liebe zu empfangen, die einer Frau widerfahren kann.
Ein wirklich extravaganter Film, der einem aber zunimmt und bis zum Ende mitnimmt.